আমরা আরো 4 মিনিট অপেক্ষা করব, কারণ ক্লাসটা 20 থেকে শুরু করব, যেহেতু প্রথম ক্লাস এবং অনেকেরই নেটওয়ার্কের কানেকশনের অভিজ্ঞতা নেই এই জুম অ্যাপসে, ফলে একটু সময় নিচ্ছি। শোনা যাচ্ছে আমাকে?
জি স্যার, যাচ্ছে স্যার।
গুড। আমি টোটাল 17 পার্টিসিপেন্টসকে এখানে নোটিস করেছে যে 17 পার্টিসিপেন্টস এখন আছে ভিডিও এবং অডিওতে। We are expecting some more participants within 3 minutes Zoom lecture. Okay, let us start today. First, good morning to all of you, and Eid Mubarak, belated. How are you? I hope you are all safe from this pandemic coronavirus. Can you see my lecture on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And during the lecture, please mute your speaker so that you can listen without any disturbance. And today we shall discuss on bioactive natural products. The special chapter is alkaloids, and this is very important and interesting topic. This is why I choose it in our first official lecture. Usually I deliver this lecture a little bit later, but today you can have this lecture. Alkaloids. Have you heard about alkaloids before? This is very interesting class of secondary metabolites which have been used from the ancient time. You can see a image of a plant flower as well as a pod. It is called poppy plant, and poppy plant produces a special type of very famous alkaloid, which is called morphine. So alkaloids, how can we define alkaloids? Alkaloids are a group of naturally occurring chemical compounds which are mostly contain basic nitrogen atoms. Here you see a basic nitrogen atom is present in the structure, in the heterocycle structure. So alkaloid must contain a nitrogen atom. This is the obligatory. And the first individual alkaloid, morphine, possibly you heard about this alkaloid before, morphine, was isolated in 1804 from poppy, Papaver somniferum, the scientific name of poppy. Poppy is a very famous for producing morphine. And morphine, the word comes from a Greek word, Morpheus. Morpheus means a Greek god of dreams. So morphine, it is a drug, and it has huge influence in human neurosystem. There are lots of alkaloids. Generally, alkaloids have a beta test. Alkaloids, what are alkaloids? How can we define them? In addition to carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen, alkaloids sometimes contain oxygen, sulfur, and more rarely other elements such as chlorine, bromine, and phosphorus. So alkaloids, in comparison to other elements, additional elements, in most of the phenolic compounds, they only contain carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. But here you can see nitrogen, which is most expensive nutrient element present in nature. Alkaloid must contain nitrogen, but it sometimes contain oxygen, sulfur, chlorine, bromine, and phosphorus. So structural diversity of alkaloid is quite high. Alkaloids are produced by a large variety of organisms, including bacteria, fungi, plants, and animals, and are part of the group of natural products. I already mentioned it is one of the most important natural products which have been used since ancient time. So not only plants, bacteria, fungi, as well as other animals can produce alkaloids. Alkaloids, many of them are toxic. This is most important point. Many of the alkaloids are toxic to other organisms. They often have pharmacological effects. This is another important point. They have pharmacological effects and are used as medication, different medicine, or as recreational drug. This is very interesting because since ancient time, alkaloids are being used as recreational drug, for example, morphine, nicotine, even caffeine, or in entheogenic rituals, for example, nicotine, tobacco, or other similar, plant materials people use in entheogenic or ethnogenic rituals in the social. You see, tobacco is in the village. Old times, tobacco is used to entertain new guest in the house. So generally, alkaloids are beta test. Next, alkaloids. Uh, from where alkaloids are originated? Alkaloids, the name is alkaloid. The name of alkaloids comes from alkaloid. It is German word which was introduced in 1819 by a German chemist Carl F.W. Meissner and is derived from Latin word alkali, which in turn comes from Arabic al-Qualja. That means the root of alkaloid, the word alkaloid, the original root is al-Qualja, Arabic root. The meaning of alcoalja is ashes of plants, and the suffix Greek is like. Uh, the term came into wide use only after the publication of a review article by O. Jacobson in the Chemical Dictionary of Albert Ledenburg in the 1880s. So this word originally derived from the alcoalja, ashes of plants. More than 12,000 alkaloids have been identified by 2008, but if you exact statistics is not available, but it might be now more than 14,000. There is no unique method or naming alkaloids. There are many alkaloids, but how can we name them? But there are several unique methods of naming of alkaloids. Many individual names are formed by adding the suffix "ine" to the species or generic alkaloids. Bencrystine, for example. For example, atropine, INE, atropine is isolated from the plant atropa. You see, the atropine, INE, it is a generic part suffix of the alkaloid, and atro comes from the Atropa belladonna. This is a plant. Strychnine is obtained from the seed of strychnine tree. So the naming has some significance